Damn it, Little Legs, that's terrible.
That's him. That's Vaudrey. He is attended by sin eaters. But how does he keep them from attacking?
Mercy! Mercy!
By the 12. Kaishia, what happened to you?
Who are these impudent louts? I do not recall requesting their presence.
Lord Vaudrey, what is the meaning of this? Why is this poor man bleeding to death on your floor?
Why? You ask me why? Because criminals must be punished. And this man is guilty of fraud. He came to us, claiming to be a man of business. Yet his subsequent conduct has shown him to be anything but. Europe is a city built on love for one's fellow man. Those who have naught to give and live only to take are a blight upon our society! To atone for this crime, I ordered that he fling himself from the balcony. And he had the temerity to weep. Please, my lord, anything but that. What then is a man of mercy to do, but offer the sinner another way to show his contrition?
Another way? Meaning what exactly?
Sin eaters are part of Yulmore society, but they must be fed with ether. Living ether.
Yulmore society.
So I demanded an offering of flesh, carved by his own hand, from his own hide.
Yikes.
And
Sorry, I'm trying to get some shots here for a thumbnail.
He could not do as I asked. A wholly unsatisfactory performance.
Tis true that Kaishia won his place here by fraud, but his actions were driven only by desire to share in your paradise. That you would cast him out I could almost accept, but to humiliate him thus, to demand his very life? Is this truly the way of Yulmore?
Oh, you dim, deluded child. Have you ever paused to consider what it takes to maintain such a paradise in this barren, broken world of ours?
So, it's interesting, like, the first time you do this, you think, why is the crowd not protesting? But they're not reacting at all, like, one way or the other. The shots that we have of the crowd, they are just completely stony-faced, just completely entranced. And that is what the meal does to them, right? It puts them under this
Guarantee of safety and
this
stability.
trance in his presence.
The knowledge that if one only abides by the rules, one has naught to fear. I alone can offer these things, for I alone can command the Sin Eaters. And thus am I alone the voice of justice, and any who oppose me, villains to be punished.
people call
Like,
this
they're basically
paradise.
tempered in his presence. Like, they have like, you know, self-control and like, they're themselves when they're not in his presence, but as soon as they're, like, in the same room as him, they're just completely tempered.
You were granted a place in my city for a particular skill. What was it?
Painting.
Oh, an artist! Then you shall paint a picture for me of Yulmore. If I find your art pleasing, then I may excuse this display of insolence. Who gave you permission to tend to that criminal's wounds? I told you to paint me a picture!
What you need is a mirror, not a painting. It will capture the horror I see before me far better than I ever could. Can you walk?
I think so.
Like, he can't even get his head around it.
Did that little worm just insult me? I'll kill them! I'll kill them all! I'll enslave their minds! I'll torment them! Torture them! Then tear out their hearts!
Hello there, Emmett. A baby rage Vaudrey emote would be fantastic. Oh, thank you again. Forgive me. In my anger, I seem to have marched us back outside again. Though it is probably best we leave this island altogether. I believe we've worn out our welcome in Yulmore. In any case, I've seen enough of the world's self-proclaimed capital city to convince me that our battle against the Sin Eaters will find few allies in Kalusia. I'll accompany you back to the Crystarium. We need to regroup and think on our strategy anew. Kaishir, I have done you a grave disservice. You are hungry and desperate, and I offered you a solution without once considering the risks inherent in you accepting it. If I had but known the price you would be made to pay. You gave me everything I needed to make your idea work. It was me who made a mess of things, not you. But even after all the trouble I caused, you still stepped in and saved me. And now Lord Vaudrey wants us all dead. Why not come back with us to the Crystarium? I'm certain we can find work for you there if you're willing. No. That would just be me leaning on your kindness again. I need to do some thinking. Learn how to stand on my own 2 feet. Very well. But you must promise me you'll be careful. The Yulmorans may yet come looking for us. I'll keep my head down, don't worry. And you take care too. Give me the chance to repay what you've done for me. Alfino! Lord and Lady Chai? What in the blazes did you do? They have the entire city looking for you. I took a peek at your unfinished portrait, Alfino. Now I've had many a beautiful and striking picture painted for me, but there was something about your work. was as if you had caught the very essence of our love and rendered it naked upon the canvas. It was bold, unflinching, and I adored it. Please, you must come back with us and finish what you began. I will speak with Lord Vaudrey and vouch for your character. I'm sure we can smooth over any hard feelings. I'm sorry, Lady Chai. There are more important matters to which I must attend. More important? What could be more important than enjoying the days we have left to us to the fullest? Pray press me no further. We are leaving. I would not presume to take the garments you were so kind to procure for me. One moment. I wouldn't hear of it. Keep the clothes, you silly boy. I insist. And I shall make arrangements that you can pass through the gate without causing a stir. I expect you to come and visit. I will return, I promise you that. The outrage I witnessed must not go unanswered. The next time we meet, I shall be better prepared to confront the corruption which hides behind the glittering facade. Lumindia, I wish. I wish. I would love to. It's a very, like, insular gig, I think. Voice acting. It's not something you can really break into. And not something that I think I have even a modicum of sufficient talent for, but it would be a lot of fun. You just replay the cutscene as a healer, you kneel down and heal him with Alphino. Oh, that's interesting. That's really cool. I think you do the same thing in Shadowbringers with is it with Y'shtola or one of the other injured people after that first confrontation with Xenos? Thank you, my friend, for staying at my side through this whole sordid endeavor. Whilst not quite to the joyous outcome I had hoped for, our efforts have nevertheless answered a great many questions. Suffice it to say, our plans for saving the First are unlikely to involve the aid of Lord Vaudrey and his subjects. Come, we must speak with the Exarch and chart a new course. This is far from over. Oh, Crowd does tell you to. Yeah, and I think that's the first time that had happened. Because, you know, there are so many times in a cutscene where you're just, like, watching stuff happen, you know? Watching other people fight or, you know, get killed and just kind of, like, standing there. And it's frustrating. It's really frustrating sometimes. Oh, and see, that's a very wholesome and encouraging piece of advice. It's good to be back amongst friends, not to mention my dear sister. I've not seen her for some time, and I gather she is as keen to press on with our plans as I am. And you've seen quite a lot of the First yourself now, more than enough to appreciate the scale of the obstacles we face. Let us lay our discoveries before the Exarch and discuss what must be done. The Light Wardens! Here we go.
And so you return. Have you gained a better understanding of the crisis now faced by the First?
Better is not the word I would use. Some lands may have been spared the flood, but the survivors live only to suffer. There seems no end to the horrors inflicted by the Sin Eaters.
Indeed. Those abominations are a calamity in their own right. And I can well imagine how hopeless the task of eradicating them must seem to you. But after countless battles and untold sacrifice, we have identified a potential weakness. Sin Eaters are drawn to serve the strongest of their kind, a class of creature we call Light Wardens. And from what we have been able to ascertain, only a handful of these entities exist. Just as an ant colony will perish in the absence of its queen, we believe that the death of a Light Warden will cause the lesser creatures within its sphere of influence to disperse.
Given that the very last cutscene was that one with Vaudrey, it is so obvious now in retrospect the twist that he's a Light Warden.
I have a feeling Yulmor might have something to say about any concerted action we take against these monsters.
Because I remember it definitely occurred to me during my first playthrough at some point before it was revealed, but in retrospect, it is just immediately like, oh, like Vaudrey.
Vaudrey's command over the Sin Eaters is integral to Yulmoran society. In seeming to guarantee his people's safety, it guarantees their obedience. He will not take kindly to us depriving him of such useful allies.
Agreed. Thus we will need to occupy or otherwise divert his forces whilst we proceed with the business of eliminating the Wardens. Until we have done so, all other considerations must be set aside if we are to forestall the 8th Umbral Calamity.
Are you sure that eliminating the Wardens would be enough?
Your uncertainty is understandable, given the circumstances. Perhaps a more detailed explanation is in order.
Oh, sorry about that. Oh, here we go, lore time!
In the ancient past, a single star was divided into 14 worlds. This is the source, your home. These others are the 13 shards, in whose number we find the first. Though physically separate, they retain a connection to each other, and with the source especially. Now, let us assume that a given element in one of the shards attains abnormal ascendancy. Just as water will flow from the highest point to the lowest, the excess energy will begin trickling into the source. And such an influx of ether will of course exert a palpable influence.
Yeah, this scene is one of the most important that we've had in the whole game.
If the element
regarding lore and world building,
then drought and wildfires might ensue. If it were ice, one might expect the weather to turn bitterly cold.
it also demonstrates to us which of the shards have been rejoined, which is quite interesting.
As continues to pour in, such phenomena will become more and more extreme, until eventually, a single, untimely event triggers a disaster which cracks the barrier dividing the two worlds. What was once a trickle now becomes a deluge, sweeping the shard along to be rejoined with the source. At the same time, the element which held sway in the shard is unleashed in full, its energies amplifying the original disaster to truly catastrophic proportions. An earthquake thus magnified might strike with enough force to shatter continents. A tidal wave might swell to a size capable of drowning entire nations. These devastating events are what we refer to as umbral calamities. 7 times has a calamity befallen the source. 7 times has a shard been absorbed.
And not a single one of them has been Umbral. Okay, there's Alig there. Calamity of Earth. The Ice Age we know very little about. There's the Great Flood at the end of the War of the Magi. And there's Bahamut and the over-aspecting to Astral. Yes, all those worlds are just completely gone.
At present, the light-crowned realm of the First stands perilously close to meeting the conditions for a rejoining.
I think the 8th Calamity is the last one the Askians need. They need all of them. Unless they can find some other workarounds. They need all of them. And what that means is they also need to fix the Void. Because the Void was their first attempt at a rejoining. They messed it up. As a result, it can no longer be rejoined. So the Void needs to be restored before it can be rejoined. And again, this like severely dates this episode, but that may or may not be the goal of Gaia and something that we deal with in Eden. Yeah, we have been to the Void before. Yes, we have.
It is the Sin Eaters who are to blame for the Light's continued dominance. In addition to attracting their lesser kin, the Light Wardens I mentioned earlier radiate ether, saturating every corner of their territory with light. Even here in the flood-spared region of Norvrand, their influence is strong enough to banish night from the sky. Thus, if we are to restore balance to the First and head off a potential calamity, it is imperative that we put each and every Light Warden to the sword.
We've been doing our best to take the fight to the enemy ever since we first heard the Exarch's explanation.
Though we have yet to claim any meaningful victories if truth be told. Apart from being confoundingly elusive, the Light Wardens possess a troublesome quality which compelled us to delay our plans until such time as you arrived.
Forgive the interruption, my lord, but Hallminster Switch is requesting reinforcements. They say the Sin Eaters are attacking in force, and the village could soon be overrun.
Alert the guard. We should be prepared in case the fighting reaches the Crystarium. You have command of our forces in the field, Captain, but hold off on entering the town until I arrive. That goes for Alphino and Alize as well.
My lord.
Pray, lend us your strength. Such a fight will provide you with far greater insight than any explanation I could offer.
Well, Sleepy, it's both. It's kind of both. Like, they talk about them as the shards as separate dimensions and separate stars. The problem with the cosmology is that we do not know how far the sundering extended. So everything that's in outer space, we don't know whether those are other shards or whether they're outside of this sundered pocket of multi-dimensional space-time. So for instance, the Dragon Star, where Midgard Zormra came from, that's in outer space. It's probably not one of the shards. It's probably another pre-sundered planet entirely. And the same with where the creators of Omega came from. It's probably another star, another planet entirely, and not one of the shards. But we don't know for certain at the moment. That's one of the big unanswered questions in 14 lore at the moment. Hallminster Switch is in the north of Lakeland. So we had best make haste with our preparations. In fact, meet me outside the Crystarium at the crossroads northwest of the Ascensa Gates, and I shall lead you there myself. What about the underworlds? You're talking about the hells that the Eorzeans believe in, and probably Tartarus as well. Well, the former are probably not real. They're probably not real things. And the latter, we don't know at the moment. I suspect that it's probably going to be kind of like, you know, the anti-tower, right? The closer, like the further under the earth you get, the closer you get to the live stream, and you know, the physical laws and the distinction between dimensions and stuff begins to collapse. I think Tartarus is probably going to be something like that. That's kind of what the twinning was about as well. Digging down into the live stream, actually being able to like tap into the live stream and subsequently navigate between the dimensions that way. Since the heart of the source is kind of like the common thread that they all connect to. All set. If we follow this road north, we will arrive at the northern staging point. The village itself lies not far beyond. Quickly now. Yeah, okay. Thinking maybe we should attune to Fort Job while we're at it, but I think we come back to that pretty quickly. No, we don't know what the extra trial will be. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's one against Arbolitibus. Arbolitibus or Elidibert. Whichever one it is. We don't know, Biff. We do not know. I mean that before the Sundering, we don't know whether there were other stars for sure. There probably were, but it may be that the other worlds, the other planets are just the other shards. It might have been that the whole universe in Final Fantasy XIV before the Sundering was just our star and the pocket of space around it. We do not know. We don't know what Tartarus is either. Tartarus is in Ridorana Lighthouse. What's the name of the golem there? The Garlands, when they go and check that out after we're done with the Ivalice storyline, they talk about Tartarus and this thing digging down to Tartarus. And then we also have Ronka. There's a lot of references to Tartarus as well. They use spells that are like Tartarian this and that. We don't actually know what it is. But if we look at the context and we look at the reference, Tartarus is the deepest underworld. The deepest pocket of the underworld in Greek mythology. But Tartarus is a big mystery at the moment. But yeah, it might be some part of the rift, some interaction with the rift that's kind of common between all the worlds. We just do not know. Does the first have the same constellations visible as the source? To the best of our knowledge, yeah. Yeah. As far as we can tell, yes. Old Mr. Switch has passed these gates and through the woods. Not exactly a near neighbor to the Crystarium, but as we occupy the same region, we have built up something of a cooperative relationship. What can we expect inside, Captain? The town is beset by a swarm unlike any we have seen in recent years. We did our best to evacuate the villagers, but as many as half remain. Judging by the number of Ethys present, we have good reason to believe that a Light Warden leads the attack. How convenient. It seems we'll have our chance to slay a Warden sooner than we expected. One does not simply slay a Warden. Has no one told you what happens if you defeat one of those fiends? They hold more light inside them than all of their underlings put together. It can be struck down, aye, but its essence won't dissipate like the weaker kind. Vile ether would billow outwards and envelop the nearest living being, a reckless young swordsman perhaps, and turn her into a brand new warden. Well, you can leave that particular quandary to us. I must ask that the guards stand down and allow us to engage this leader of Ethys alone. Concentrate on the survivors. We must save every life we can. But what if... Understood, my lord. As captain of the guard, however, I would not watch you brave such danger without an escort from our ranks. I insist that I go with you. Very well. Then our warden slaying party shall include myself, the Leviers, Captain Lena, and last but not least... a formidable group indeed. Into Holdminster we go. Once we reach the Light Warden, do not hold back. We strike to kill. Alright. I love Lena, but we have to take Alize. We have to, right? Yeah, we gotta take Alize. For reasons. Rias, thank you very much for 27 months. Oh my goodness. Appreciate that very much, my friend. Alright. Now, I know this is the slow way of doing these, but for the story, it's also the best way. Yeah, they all have circumstantial dialogue in all these trust dungeons. It's really cool. An Exarch using his ether pull arms. Such a unit. Holy crap. Alright, let's go. Let's do it. Come on, friends. Oh god, that Sin Eater, it can't be. Oh no, Alize. Alize, no. Alright, I'm not gonna use technical step on a single target. I probably shouldn't have used that fan dance there, but that's okay. Now I know I can pull more and drag him back, so I might do that. Wait, did I not set dance partner? Oh, my keybinds are slightly different here than they are on my main. There you go. I used Shield Samba instead by accident. Alright, let's bring these ones back.
Are you hurt?
They're even turning the bears. Yeah. Alpha knows the sketchiest here. Like, how do you mean? That's why I'm maxing out Riange. You know, I haven't bothered maxing him out on my main, just because I don't find the rewards particularly compelling. You know. It's like you get a title and you get an alternate outfit for him. Great. I feel like there should be, I don't know, like a mount or something, right? Just want to run Amarot with a trust and see what they say. Oh, it's it's interesting in Amarot. I guess that you do have to level them up if you want to see all of the dialogue combinations. Like that's something. Yeah. Ah. Alpha, no, please. Alphino keeps trolling you. Oh, Riange keeps trolling you, rather? Oh, really? Every time he ends up dying to something? Really? Huh. It's unfortunate. There's some pulls you don't want to do with an Astro, like all of them. I feel like the best way to do trusts is definitely tanking. But you gotta be careful with your cooldowns. Oh, Riange got transformed into a frog. That's how you died. Oh dear. Oh dear. Sometimes they get stuck somewhere in the code and stand there AoE. Well, I mean, they're no less reliable than your average DF healer, I think. Hopefully I'll get some more fans here so we can do a big burst on old mate. Tankard can tank a lot of mobs. Yeah. I mean, Exarch can too. Be nice if we got to level him up, eh? I'm really excited to see in like future, I don't know, it won't be future patches, but future expansions whether we get some, although maybe in future patches if we have dungeons that are like back on the swords, if future patches, we'll have other trusts. But I want to be able to have like, you know, Estinian and Gaius and, you know, who else? Arenvold. Hori Boulder, you know, characters like that. Fordola. Emmerich. Ravon, maybe, yeah. Alright. Go on, Exarch, go on. You know, I really enjoy Dancer, but I don't like that I'm having to constantly stare at my bars. Which is just kind of the reality of more RNG dependent jobs, you know? Like, I love Dragoon so much because there is 0 RNG and your rotation is, you know, it's complex, but it's consistent. And when you master it, you don't really have to look at your bars at all. You can just focus on the fight. Oopsies. I was a bit hasty there. Yeah, it would be really cool if they added the trust system like retroactively as well. But I don't think that's gonna happen. Yeah, I was aiming on gung-ho the LB. Man, she steals it every time. It's so annoying. I think it's a really fun, like, a little bit of flavor for a character, though, honestly. Because, like, she's so wood, you know? That's Alizé to a T. Oh, I've forgotten how long these bosses take to drop with your trusts, eh? Alright, what do we got? Lakeland Gloves of Aiming. Is that an upgrade? No, it is not. You've noticed that while selecting the DPS for a trust, if I take off and then select the DPS again, I can choose who will use the LB. Really? Interesting. Oh yeah, the Don Meg is the best, isn't it? It's so cool seeing how they all like deal with that puzzle differently. Alright, let's pull up to here. If you select Rain first and then you should already get Rain's LB. Interesting. Didn't realize that was a thing. Yeah, I remember the media tour. Don Meg was the dungeon that's that we were able to play through with that, and I did like every combination with the NPCs, and Man, I was so impressed with the trust system. Alright, let's go. Let's go, kiddies. Come on. Might be a code thing. I suppose it would have to be, huh? That's quite interesting, though. Oh, Alfredo, what are you doing? Get out of here.
Leave the healing to me.
All right. Everything is going fine. All according to Keikaku. The gremlins are from the source via the Crystal Tower. Yes, they are. As is one of the S ranks in Lakeland is a Chimera that escaped as well. Interesting. Like I say, so I've been doing these daily lore posts on Twitter, just like little tidbits, and one thing I noted recently is the fact that there's a very good chance that there are still Eurekan weapons left somewhere in the Labyrinth of the Ancients that have been teleported here and that may or may not have broken out subsequently. Because Old Mate Exarch was really not at all careful with, you know, the various monsters and things that he brought along with him. Man, Alizé's reaction to Tesleen here is so rough, eh? Poor Alizé. I mean, I guess it's nice that Alizé gets some closure here, but this sucks, like, so much. Why? I mean, I get it, but Alright. Burst time again. Yeah, that's all lining up good. Man, did not get many procs there. Okay, let me re-up that one. I think if I'm gonna raid on this character, I'm definitely gonna have to change jobs. Either... I wouldn't mind healing, actually. Because White Mage is probably the old job that I'm playing most at the moment on my main. And I would like a chance to raid on it. So maybe I could go with that. Do some more like casual raiding on this character. Anyone want a Nectarine? Oh, too soon. Too soon. No! Oh, shit. Man, what would be really nice is if you were like fast enough getting to Forgiven Enmity there that you could have saved those other people. If you just managed to like sprint in and pull him real quick. Because that sucks. You like range DPS / support jobs? Well, Dancer is a lot of fun. I definitely recommend it. Come on, friends. Still not getting any procs. It's bad, man. BIS Malzahar the Dancer? It's probably crit and direct. It's very easy to enjoy multiple jobs on 14. Yeah, if you're not... Well, I mean, like, outside of Savage Raid, yes, it is. The only time you really need, like, alt characters is if you want to be pushing Savage Raids on multiple jobs at once, just because of, you know, like weekly timestone caps. Although if you prog quickly, it's pretty easy to, like, you know, do your prog and your initial clears on one job and then, you know, switch to another one. A lot of people do that. I've done that in a lot of previous tiers. Yeah, good luck, hero. Good luck, mate. I hope it pays off for you. You cap on main on alt ATM? Oh, you mean like you're capping on a main and an alt? I've never been able to do that. I've never been able to find a time to cap consistently on my main and an alt. Although, like, with hunt trains, capping, you can cap in like 40 minutes if you manage to get a hunt train. So the best way to do it with ults is really just like finding a hunt link shell. And trying to stay on top of that. Philia. So this guy was an elf that was involved with the Lakeland Revolution somehow and imprisoned, and that's why he's got the chains and stuff. All of the triple triad cards for the various light wardens actually give you like a little bit of lore on their origins, which is kind of cool. You want this boss as a mount? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know if you really want that. Oh god, let's see if they can break me out here.
Are you hurt?
You love Shadowbringers boss theme? Oh yeah, me too. It's so good. Thank you, friends. Alright, might as well shield some of this. Get into some good habits. Although this one probably would have been better. Longest cast time in the game you know of is Giga Flare from Arcatania. Oh really? 120 seconds. Are there no enrages that are longer than that? What about Ultima? Proto Ultima, I should say. Where are you telling him? Woo! Supernova is 60 seconds. Okay, cool. Oh, me again? Come on. Come on. Well, that is very interesting about Arcatania. I wonder if they'll do anything else with Arcatania. I think it'd be interesting if that ended up like an Odin thing, you know? where you get a super fate boss becoming like an actual trial at some point. I'm astonished that Alize hasn't taken the limit break yet. Hi Aeropira, how you doing? Divine Judgment, 75 seconds, okay. Yeah, I knew that one was pretty long, but not 120 seconds for sure. Alright. Daddy's limit break, and Alize must have overheard us complaining. Damn! Finally, Jace. Jace! 29 minutes, oh my goodness. Oh, it could have been worse. Got him! Got that poor elf boy. And then Lena shows up. It's no less than I expected, but well done. Alize. Oh. Alize. Alize, no! Yeah, and I want to get a screenshot here. Okay. There's my controller. You gonna meet me, are you, Zephyrus? Oh yeah. When's that happening? Oh, these two are so precious. Oh, you're waiting outside the dungeon? Okay. Shut up, Ninzad. Rest well. Oh, Alize.
It's releasing its ether! Fall back! We cannot let it touch us! Quickly, my lord, we must withdraw!
That will not be necessary, Captain. Though I appreciate your concern. The eternal light of these creatures has confounded us for nigh on 100 years. For each we have put down, another has risen up in its place, born of the self-same ether relinquished by its predecessor. But now we have a way to contain that corruption. The blessing of light, and the hero who wields it now stands before you.
We've leveled this guy all the way through on YouTube. Sorry, not on YouTube. Here on Twitch. We're going through all the expansions.
Behold! The monster's power is broken, and the world, twisted by its touch, returns to its rightful form.
Now, I still don't understand how this technically happens, because that Umbral Ether is still all here. It's just we're containing it rather than the Light Warden. And if it's just a consequence, like an emanation of that ether from the vessel, I don't understand how this is happening. Yeah, it could be that we're not, like, bleeding it out. We're not emanating that ether.
It can't be.
What's happening?
But I would like an explanation as to how exactly this works.
The sunless sea. The warrior of darkness has come.
Yeah, that's true, Ryu. Yeah, when we can't contain it, and it does start bleeding out in the sky. Yeah, so that must be it. That does make sense.
Is that what I think it is?
The night sky. As it should be.
Did we ever get a full explanation of what we did with the Sin Eater Ether? Yeah, so, basically what happened with it is we started being transformed because we had too much. Then, Ardbert rejoining with us, getting that extra shard of our soul back, allowed us to be able to contain it again. We used all of that ether to forge the Blade of Light, which we used to destroy Hades. So normally we need something else, some other source of ether to be able to forge that. Yeah, but that's what we did. And then it's dispersed from there. Yeah.
Who are you people? You killed a warden, then bathed in its ether as if it were a spring shower, and now the sky? The legends are true.
Yeah, Snotters, we were using it while fighting him. We basically used it all while we were fighting him, and like the last chunk of it was the Blade of Light.
How many years have I waited for this moment?
Oh, he's saying.
For the one possessed of her blessing. For you. You have vanquished the Light Warden of Lakeland, and for the first time in a century, darkness has returned to the mantle of night. Without the ever-present light to sustain them, the Sin Eaters will have no choice but to retreat. Yet our victory is far from complete. Though darkness has fallen here, the other wardens yet bask beneath burning skies, feasting upon what little life remains. Even should it cost me all I have, I would see each and every one of them slain, that this world might be spared from oblivion. Not only for the first, but for the source as well. Save one, and we save the other. But be that as it may, I concede it was wrong of me to summon you to this fight against your will. I swear, on my life, I will one day atone for that deed. But for the present,
he means it when he says he swears on his life,
like
like he's
to its conclusion.
Saying quite literally.
Cast down the wardens and restore darkness to the first.
Like at this point, he intends to return us home by killing himself at the conclusion. So he really is speaking literally.
On behalf of the First, I offer you my deepest thanks.
I understand there is much at stake here, Exarch, but why do you risk yourself so readily? It must have been a dangerous drain on your ether to summon even one person across the rift.
I do it for my people, of course. To give the Crystarium the tomorrow it deserves.
That is true now, yes, but the city had yet to be built when you first called forth the Crystal Tower. I'm simply curious to know what prompted you to commit yourself so completely to this particular course.
There are things which we can ill afford to lose. And I sensed from the first that I had a part to play in preserving them. Forgive me. I fear the events of the day may have taken their toll. Despite appearances, I am an old man. One burdened with many difficult memories, some too painful to recall.
Well then, I'm sorry for pressing you. It's a family failing, I'm afraid.
He's so full of shit.
One which has served us well more often than not. Needless to say, we will continue to fight at your side until the last Sin Eater is defeated.
Come then, my warriors of darkness. Let us gather the surviving villagers and make our way back to the Crystarium.
I love it how every time we start asking him questions he doesn't want to answer, he's like, I'm very tired. I think I need to go rest now. Hey, nice mobile mount, dude. Hell yeah. Okay, thanks for that. Thank you for that. Yes, hello. I like your glamour too. Just came here to e-pain for everyone, did you? With your ultimate Kanagi? A screenshot together? Yeah, sure. Of course. Let me do a pose for you. Where's my victory pose? There it is. Ironvold's basically our B team. Ironvold is always the A team in my heart, okay? I like that glam though, it's a very cool glam. No worries, mate. Man, those daggers look so fucking cool. Congrats on your Alexander clear. Well done, my friend. How quickly you've justified my faith in you. So many lives saved, and the sky itself heralds your success. A single victory in a larger struggle, perhaps, but a momentous one nonetheless. Ironvold deals with the old beast tribes now. Yeah, Ironvold and Fordala are the basically doing what we were doing in ARR, you know, grinding through extreme primals and shit.
Warrior of darkness.
Now, as for how we proceed from here, the villagers we evacuated earlier have arrived safely in the Crystarium. They seem to be accepting their situation for the moment, Most folks are far too distracted by the sky to worry about wounds or lost homes. They will whisper and wonder if the Warrior of Darkness has come. 'Tis to be expected. Ethys, I must ask a favor of you. Would you be so kind as to conceal your involvement in this endeavor for the time being? I would like to take all of the credit myself, you see. Seeing the light recede from Lakeland is a momentous occasion, and many will be swept up in a maelstrom of excitement and confusion. Should you come forth as the legendary Warrior of Darkness, I fear that, no matter how good your intentions, such an appearance would throw the city into disarray. I find myself in agreement with the Exarch, although my concerns are more focused on Yulmore. It may be best if you maintain a low profile until we see how Vaudrey responds to all of this. My thanks. Though we cannot freely celebrate your success, pray allow your heart to be buoyed by the joy of our citizens. A joy you surely brought into being. Vaudrey's response is, "Wah."
I am righteousness, and righteousness will prevail.
You see, I don't understand why they're not freaking out about the rain now, because there was no weather, and now there's rain and lightning, and it's very, very frightening. And I think they would be panicking way more about that than anything else. No? Just me? And I must ask the same discretion of you, Captain. 'Tis my intention to share with our people the tale of a great warrior who stood in defiance of the Sin Eaters. His unnamed champion defeated the Light Warden and has since departed for parts unknown. Yes? As you wish, my lord. Your penchant for mystery is nothing new, and I will encourage folk not to question this either. Although I expect to be told the whole truth of it one day, about all of you. With that settled, I shall return to the Crystarium and make an address to the people. These explanations and adjustments will consume much of my time, so pray take the opportunity to rest and recover from your exploits. And to think you'll not even need to shutter the windows to enjoy a dark and peaceful night's sleep. I must stay behind and coordinate the evacuation of the remaining survivors. And I hesitate to ask, after all you've done here today, could I ask you to pass on a message on your way to the pendants? Please let Mragi know that we're bringing in a number of injured, that any restoratives in the markets need to be reserved for the infirmary. Yeah, I wonder if it is canon that there were no weather effects like this before we restore the darkness, because the light itself is a weather effect, at least, you know, ludologically. So I wonder. We should start making our own way back to the Crystarium. Slowly, mind you. It wouldn't do to arrive too soon after the Exarch. I'm staying behind as well. There's something I need to check on in Holminster. Oh no, she wants to bury Tesleen. We already went through the village top to bottom, Alizé. We should all take the chance to rest, you included. I knew one of those eaters, and I can't rest, not now. So please, I wish to be left alone for a while. And that means you as well, Ethys. I shall be cross if you try to follow me. I really want to follow her. I promise to find you later when I feel myself again. Just you and me then, shall we? Well, we don't know whether the atmosphere has been has been put in stasis, or whether it's just like a particle effect of the sort of emanating umbral energy from the land. Like, we don't know whether it's just an optical thing. And I suspect the fact that the air is still breathable probably suggests that it is just like an optical thing. And that it's not that the entire atmosphere around Novrant has been polarized. Hey, Althine, by the way, thank you very much for that Twitch Prime resub. I really, really appreciate that. The air in the empty is still breathable, yes, but not for long. Spending time in the empty fucks you up pretty quickly. What I think of the meteors falling in Amarot. I thought that that was basically what we were seeing in those first Echo flashbacks. You remember in ARR when we first start getting the Echo and we see this vision of meteors falling from the sky? I'm pretty sure that what we're seeing is the Amratine apocalypse. Well, the Crystarium seems relatively ordered, wouldn't you say? The Exarch's speech must have been reassuring to hear. On the contrary, there is something jubilant in the air. The feeling this night won't be quite as peaceful as our hooded friend predicted. I think I shall take a brief stroll around town before retiring to my chambers. Once you've discharged your duty to Bragi, I suggest you do the same. Sleep well, Ethys. I hope untroubled dreams find you and Alize both. Is that part of what they caused with creation magic going out of control? Are you suggesting that that whatever was causing the meteors caused the creation magic to go out of control, or are you suggesting the other way around? Because I think it's more the other way around. Because, yeah, I'm pretty sure they created the meteors. I'm pretty sure that was part of it.
Aye, what can I do for you? Looking to buy a lantern like every other stumbling soul in the city? I see. Well, Captain Lena can rest assured that any potions I spot coming in will be set aside for the wounded. Hang on a moment. If you're carrying messages for the guard, does that mean you were there then? The battle at Holminster? A stalwart lad like you might want to pay a visit to the Wandering Stairs, make himself known. I'm sure Glenard can introduce you to some interesting opportunities.
Yes, of course, this is where we unlock the role quests in it. The initial problem started away from Amarot. The initial problem started, it seems, deep underneath the earth in the core of the star.
Lavos!
I don't know. It would be pretty funny if it was actually Lavos, though. But it's something similar.
See, I'll have more beer for table 2. A couple of pints of mead for table 3 while you're at it.
Ciala's just like, if you fucking knew who I was, if you knew who I was, you would not be ordering me around like that. Coming right up. Sorry, we're rushed off our feet this evening, sir. Can I get you anything? Drinks are on the house. No wonder you rushed off your feet. Holy shit. Oh, that Bragi has a twisted sense of humor. Ha 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 ha. I think he'd send you to me at a time like this. The first real night in near 100 years, there's folk all riled up and then some. What's more, there was that Ada business at Allminster Switch. They say a light warden was destroyed without a damn trace, and that it was the warrior Darkness who did the deed. I really must apologize for Gleinard. He's been almost as rowdy as our customers, and that's no small feat. A lot of our regulars are bounty hunters, you see. They mostly go after Ethys, and the rumor of the warrior's appearance was the spark to their kindling. You know how the weak eaters are drawn to the strong ones, yes? Aye, they swarm like angry bees around a queen. You need look no further than Allminster for proof of that. But attacks on that scale don't happen every day, praise the blessed Shadow. Nah, the more common threats are the strays. No one knows why, but every now and then an eater will leave the pack to prowl alone. Those are the ones you run into on the road if your luck is foul. They're a danger to everyone, so the settlement council puts bounties on their heads, and our bar is a convenient place for hunters to gather and share information. Seems a few of them were inspired by the warden slaying even more than most. These are the types who have their sights set on the absolute worst of the strays. Class of eaters that have been dubbed the cardinal virtues. The virtues showed up out of nowhere about 3 summers ago, when historians heard the descriptions given by survivors. Well, apparently they share an appearance with the villains who caused the flood. And if that doesn't send a chill down your spine, they're also reported to be as tough as light wardens, or the kind of prey you can take down single-handed. Our virtue hunters had all but given up. But knowing the warrior of darkness is out there has lit a fire in their bellies. Just look at them. That Hume over there with the oversized sword is grandson, using it for revenge. Wants to recruit a comrade in arms as tenacious as he is. The Mistel lad is Lou Reek. Don't be fooled by those dewy cheeks. He's as hard as hunter as they come. He's just lost a partner and seems to be on the lookout for a new one. That's Serig. Word is, he seeks an expert in magecraft to help fight the virtue he's after. Last we have Giot, dwarf and drunkard both. Wanted to join forces with a healer, and only a healer. Something about needing a mender's wisdom. I've seen my share of competent veterans, and you have that look about you. Maybe you should introduce yourself to one of the hunters. Who knows? Together you might even collect the bounty on a cardinal virtue. Now that's a grand idea. Imagine the prestige my bar would earn if we boasted the patronage of a successful virtue hunter. I wonder if Silva knows who we are at this point. I wonder. Do I think it was overuse of creation magic that caused the Emeraldine calamity? Probably. We don't know for sure. But I think that whatever it is, it was the Amratine's fault. It was their hubris. Just because that is how the story always goes. In every Final Fantasy game, in every fantasy, and almost all fiction. When you have, you know, a utopian civilization collapsing, it's a direct result of their own, their own hubris. Tale as old as time. Welcome back, sir. I wonder if anyone can sleep with the city in such an uproar, but will you be retiring to your quarters? Very good. In light, that's just a little, there's a joke there. Of the present situation, I've had illumination prepared for all our rooms. No need to rush to the markets for lanterns or candles. Have a pleasant rest, sir. Am I secretly hoping for a surprise like there's a bit more to it? I'm always hoping for that. Always. Yes, Amarot is literally based on political satire. No, we don't, Pickles. But they probably called it Zodiac. So that's what they named the soul of the star.
So it's your lot's turn to be the Warriors of Darkness, is it? It's funny how things work out. Well, I did warn you. I followed you to Yulmore and then on to Armarang. And I was there when you slew the Light Warden. Those white-haired twins who were with you. I remember them from our battle in the Source. Are they your friends then? Through thick and thin? Aye. Then I suggest you keep them close. It's when you charge ahead trying to save someone else that you end up losing those you love.
Oh, but...
Not that you need telling, I'll bet you've lost plenty. But I wonder, what will it cost you this time? I don't remember when it was that I learned regret wasn't worth the bother. You get numb to it all over the years. The lost comrades, the broken promises, the abandoned principles. Just more nagging burdens to ignore.
So this is what the light was hiding. He's here. I must go to him.
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom.
Intruders! Fan out and find them! Out of my way!
Stay your weapon. We are not your enemy.
Oh, steady.
When the alarm sounded, I wondered what we had done to betray our presence. But I see now we are not the only intruders. Sir Estinian, I presume. The dragoon who plucked the Warrior of Light from the jaws of death? Your armor is most distinct.
Much as yours once was. But even without it, I see a former legator still has eyes and ears in unexpected places. Van Baelsar, in the flesh. Though I understand you prefer Shadowhunter.
You are in contact with the Scions, I take it.
Through no choice of my own. They tracked me down and conscripted me to their cause.
How do I feel about Big Daddy going back to Alamigo? I think he's gonna have to do it very inconspicuously if he wants to get out of there alive.
The receptionist was trained as a spy. Not that anyone can escape that Baldessian woman once she has caught the scent of your ether.
If they have resorted to using freelancers, I must assume their attempts to wake the afflicted have failed. And what of their champion?
away on other business. Thus, it has fallen to me to root out any trace of the Empire's new weapon.
If it is Black Rose you seek, you are too late. My people have already completed your mission here. Yet this is but one factory among many. When they caught wind of our efforts, they built additional facilities to ensure production continues unabated. There will be no one left in the lands they conquer. No citizens to conscript. No skills to exploit. Nothing the Empire needs. And they will call it victory.
What exactly does this Black Rose do?
The gas is described as a poison, but its actual effect is more arcane in nature. It was created to disrupt the ether in living beings, to bring the flow of their life energies to a standstill. Inhaling even the tiniest amount will cause all bodily functions to cease, much as a potent venom will stop a man's heart. Released over a city, Black Rose could conceivably kill every inhabitant, and all without damaging a single structure.
Search every corner! Rouse the barracks if you have to! I want this facility secured!
I have more questions, but now is not the time.
Sir Estinian, I have an offer for you, but I will make it only once. Since it would seem we seek the same answers, you are welcome to join us.
Ha! From what I hear, you need all the help you can get. In case you don't know, Varys himself confessed that your empire was a creation of the Ascians.
I am aware of what his Radians said at the parley. Thus I would return to the capital, that I might behold the truth of this corruption with my own eyes. My path leads to Garlemald.
Oh, I want more. I want more Gaius and Estinian. Oh, I'm so excited. So excited for 5.2 now. Guys, I think that's probably as good a place as any to leave it. Just because if we pick up this next quest, we're going to be going for like another hour and a half. And I need to edit these and get them up on the YubTubs. Oh, there she is. So thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you in the next part.